To begin with, let's talk about the background of the crisis in Bangladesh. The crisis in Bangladesh has its roots in long-standing political tensions, governance issues, and deep-seated grievances that have been simmering for years. Bangladesh, since its independence in 1971, has experienced a volatile political landscape marked by frequent changes in government, military coups, and persistent challenges to democratic governance. For over a decade, Sheikh Hasina's Awami League has dominated Bangladeshi politics. Her tenure as prime minister, which began in 2009, was marked by economic growth and infrastructure development, but also by increasing allegations of authoritarianism, human rights abuses, and suppression of political opposition. Under Hasina's rule, key state institutions, including the Judiciary and Election Commission, were accused of being compromised, raising concerns about the erosion of democratic principles in the country. Key events leading to the crisis. 1. 2018 general elections. The 2018 general elections were marred by widespread allegations of rigging and voter suppression. The Awami League's victory was seen by many as a result of electoral manipulation, leading to growing discontent among opposition parties and civil society. 2. Crackdown on dissent. The government intensified its crackdown on dissent, with the Digital Security Act being used to arrest journalists, activists, and opposition figures. The suppression of free speech and political opposition fueled anger and resentment among the populace. 3. Economic challenges and inequality. Despite economic growth, inequality in Bangladesh continued to rise. The benefits of development were not evenly distributed, leading to frustration among the lower and middle classes. Additionally, issues such as unemployment, inflation, and corruption exacerbated the economic grievances of ordinary citizens. The trigger: student protests and the quota system. The immediate trigger for the current crisis was the large-scale student protests that erupted in 2018 over the government's controversial quota system in civil service jobs. The system, which allocated a significant portion of government jobs to specific groups, including the families of freedom fighters, was seen as unfair by many, particularly the youth. The protests quickly gained momentum, with students demanding a more merit-based system. The government's response to the protests was heavy-handed, with reports of police brutality and violence against the demonstrators. This crackdown on students, who represent a significant and influential demographic in Bangladesh, ignited broader public outrage and brought underlying tensions to the surface. The mass uprising and the fall of the Hasina government. In the following years, the discontent continued to grow, with various segments of society, including students, opposition parties, and civil society groups, expressing their dissatisfaction with the government's policies. By mid-2024, the situation had reached a boiling point, leading to widespread protests and eventually a mass uprising. The uprising culminated in the toppling of Sheikh Hasina's government in mid-2024. The scale of the protests and the involvement of diverse social groups made it clear that the public's patience had run out. The movement was characterized by demands for greater democracy, accountability, and the end of authoritarian rule. Establishment of the interim government. Following the ousting of Hasina, an interim government was established, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus. Yunus, known for his work in microfinance and poverty alleviation, was seen as a neutral figure who could steer the country towards stability and democratic restoration. The interim government, however, faces significant challenges, including restoring law and order, addressing the deep-rooted corruption in state institutions, and preparing for free and fair elections. The interim government's mandate is to lead the country through this transitional period, but its legitimacy has been questioned due to its unelected nature. Political analysts and opposition parties have expressed concerns that the interim government may struggle to maintain control and execute the necessary reforms without broader political support. Current situation and future prospects. As of August 2024, Bangladesh remains in a state of uncertainty. The interim government is working to restore order and prepare the country for new elections. But the road ahead is fraught with challenges. The political landscape is highly polarized, with opposition parties eager to return to power and the public demanding genuine democratic reforms. The role of the military, which has a history of intervention in Bangladeshi politics, is also a point of concern. While the military has stated that it supports the interim government and does not seek to take power, there is skepticism among the public and political observers about its true intentions. The international community, including organizations like the United Nations and the International Crisis Group, is closely monitoring the situation. There is hope that this crisis could serve as an opportunity for Bangladesh to rebuild its democratic institutions and move towards a more inclusive and accountable governance model. The crisis in Bangladesh is a culmination of years of political tension, economic inequality, and governance challenges. The fall of the Hasina government and the establishment of an interim administration marks a critical juncture in the country's history. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether Bangladesh can navigate this crisis and emerge with a stronger, more democratic political system, or whether it will descend into further instability. Please subscribe the channel for more updates and keep sharing to keep us motivated. Thank you.